NERDSoul.
By the time we get to A New Hope, now does she show up in A New Hope, or does she show up in? She shows up in Return of the Jedi, right?
I think she's in Return.
I
Let
think
us
she's in
know
Return as
in
well.
the chat.
In the
Let us
comments,
know
let
if
us know
she's
she's in Return.
Yeah,
I
think she's
remember
just
very
in
distinctly.
Return,
She's,
but let us know.
many Bothans died, right? Like she gives the whole
Yeah.
thing. So, all right, so but we know that the Senate is starting to fall apart in A New Hope, anyways, right? So she's got to be out of the Senate pretty soon, because basically, when Princess Leia says, "I'm on a diplomatic mission," and they're like, "Yeah, right," then so that means the Senate has somewhat
That's one of my
turned on
favorite
them.
scenes.
Yeah.
Because he points like right in her face. You're a liar and a traitor, and you're going to jail.
That's right. That's right. It's perfect. So I think that yeah, this is really interesting, because it showcases that when the Empire started to take over, when Emperor Palpatine started to work his magic, so to speak, it was this progression towards totalitarianism. There was hints of it to begin with, but he keeps clamping down, right? He keeps twisting the vice of like, no, more totalitarianism. No, more totalitarianism. And as he does that, every single time, more and more people get squeezed. And then they go, the way I've been operating cannot be this way I keep operating going forward. And so I think that that's really, really well done. And it, like you said, it's showcased really well in this show, because everybody is looking over their shoulder, like, what's going to happen to me? You know,
the Empire's everywhere, and we know, at least from kind of all of the different material we've had, you know, people just disappear and they don't come back.
That's
like,
right.
You know, like,
that's right.
like you say something bad about the Empire, and then you're just gone.
You're done. Yeah, exactly.
So the comment of her having a new driver, I was just like, so what? Until we get back, like in the backstage or whatever, not backstage, but in the I guess the
back of the art store,
back room or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, oh, so they're already on. They're already think it's you, but they don't have hard evidence.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be for real. I love this part of, even when I was with Jason and we were like, all right, cool, check it. We ain't doing too much. Let's rewrite the prequels right now. Like political intrigue. Like I even said, let's have the prequels open up with Bail Organa seeing the Emperor kill somebody with the Force, but the Emperor don't know he saw him.
Oh yeah.
Until later on some kind of tape. So now Bail Organa is gotta like smile in your face and then be like, help me, help me. Like,
right.
And then the whole time he's like trying to get to but every time he gets to the Jedi, guess who's there? The Emperor is right there, like, oh, well, he's not the Emperor yet. He's the, I don't know, the Constable or whatever he is. Like,
Chancellor. He's the Chancellor or something.
Yeah, the Chancellor. Every time he's there, he's there. So he's going to be like, oh, well, you know, just wanted to tell you Jedis that I really love what you're doing. It's like this kind of cat and mouse game of like being in the Senate, trying to get messages to the Jedi not believing him being like, I saw it. Well, where's the tape? Well, I don't have the tape because, you know, all these kind of, because I don't know if I can trust Mon Mothma's husband.
Yeah.
Be for real.
Oh, totally. I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can trust him either.
He might have to go.
I did kind of think to myself, as soon as I saw Mon Mothma's vehicle pull up to the front, I was like, this is basically the Tesla T1000. Like, why do you need a driver at all? This thing should be self-driving, man. Like, why are we doing this? This should be just driving itself. But or have a droid drive you. You know what I mean? Throw a droid in there, have a droid drive you around. But yeah, I love the intrigue of it, and the fact that there's conflict, and that the conflict is constant and subdued in a lot of situations is just so good, because sometimes it's subdued and then sometimes it bubbles over. Like when Andor gets to what's the name of that planet? Adani or something like that, and Danny or whatever the name of the planet is that he's on. When he gets there, everybody's like, who's this guy and why in the world is he part of this thing?
And why is this brand new? I mean, Come on.
Yeah.
We've been planning all this time. Now you just want to put in this new guy?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
The dude, the guy that comes out with the like the shotgun or whatever, at first he's like, Val. And you know what that means. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
house meeting, house
Yeah.
who's he? And,
Yeah.
she knows why he's calling her name. He's like,
Totally.
Val. She's like, don't worry about this. Val, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Actually, I love how that scene was handled. Like there's multiple places where the subtleties in the writing are obvious and really
Yeah.
fascinating, because there's just these little pieces of information that either we receive or somebody else receives, where the tension is there. But like, so for example, even the scene where she's trying to get jurisdiction, the intelligence lady is trying to get jurisdiction over the whole case, the whole Andor case. It's called the Andor case. And then the other guy currently has jurisdiction over it. And the boss guy calls them both into the room and is like, you're trying to go around our normal regulations. Like, you can't do this. That guy walks out. He's all smug. And then he turns to her and is like, you're actually the dopest person in this at this whole table. So, just keep at it and you'll get there. To the little tiny bits of tension where it's like,
because I do like how he did give her praise, but he also said the Empire is about keeping the trains running on time. Yes. You have 2 sectors. He has 6. His quarterly reports are done. Where yours at?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Look, It's not about how good you are. It's about keeping those trains running on time.
That's right.
And he can, and you can't. Step your game up. Yeah. He said you came from, like, I don't know, whatever, enforcement or whatever. He was like, that's not what we do here.
Right.
Like, I like you. I think you've got the talent, but you need to step your game up.
Yeah, exactly.
For him, he's like, look, he's doing his job. Yeah. You're trying to do some extra stuff when your base level isn't done yet.
Yeah.
Fundamentals, people. Fundamentals.
That's right.
You're trying to do crossovers when you don't even know how to dribble without looking down. You have to do your fundamentals first. All right? Dribble first. Both hands be able to dribble first. Then you can work on a crossover. Stop.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Slow down.
Yep. They're all trying to be Instagram influencers and just get that one shot. And he's like, no. We're not just getting one shot. I loved his analogy even of like, hey, you think we're in the business of intelligence? We're not in the business of intelligence. We're in the business of healthcare. There's a lot of germs out there. And so basically the guy was like saying like, look, every single time that we see a germ, we kill the germ. And if it started to infect anybody, we kill the person it infected so it doesn't infect more people down the road. And I mean, his directive is very clear. He's very clear with what he wants. He's like, you can't skip. I want you to be the smartest people in the room, but don't think you can outsport the fundamentals, to your point, right? Like, you can't outsmart the fundamentals. You can't skip over the thing you're supposed to do because you outsmarted everybody else to get to the end goal. You got to work your way up. He basically is like the defense lawyer you would want on your side.
When he broke down that whole healthcare thing, I was like, yeah, because she's not wrong.
Yeah.
I have these cases. I think they're linked. Whoever this is getting more organized. It's a problem. He's saying, I know that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you still have a whole nother job you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And we will get to that as a team.
Yeah.
You are not solo. We work together. That's why we have the Empire.
Exactly.
Stop trying to be Columbo cop. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I also like the special little shout out to in that scene. I know we've been talking about that scene a lot, but I also really like that in that scene, the special shout out to Scarif. Like, hey, by the way, we all know that as a reference to you're going to build a Death Star, and that's crazy. So that was kind of fun too.
Or if you're not building it, it's getting more materials because it's 5 years away. It should be just about done. I'm trying to think when Rogue One happens. Rogue One happens like pretty much like the same year as the Battle of Yavin. So
that's right.
Yeah, we're probably still building it right now.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's got to be in production somehow.
And who knows how much that costed? Like,
Dude.
this is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Like putting like real world into it. Like
Yeah.
it takes. I mean, here on like okay, I'm from Virginia. There is a tunnel. It's called if you're from VA, you know the HRBT. It's called the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. It's a bridge and a tunnel that goes under the water that comes from the Atlantic Ocean and all the Virginia Beach and everything to get over from, I guess, the mainland over to Virginia Beach and stuff like that.
Nice.
They have been working on that tunnel since I moved to Virginia, and now I'm not in Virginia anymore, but since I moved there in 1990, when I was little, there's always construction going on there.
And so, has it ever opened?
No, it's open, but they're continually always doing something.
Yeah.
And now they're building. Now their plan is to build another tunnel beside it to help with traffic and stuff. But the point is, how long would it take for the Death Star? Now, I mean, they probably have better technology. Who knows? But it's similar to, without ruffling any feathers, there was a person in America that floated a large construction project. All right. I'll just say that. And I was like, me personally knowing what they call the mixing bowl in DC, which is like $4.95 and $3.95. Fixing that took like 15 years.
Right.
What that project that you were floating is like I don't know, like a 35-year project. You're talking about building from like California all the way to Texas.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of. This is not a short project.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that. I'll leave it alone.
Well, okay. So to this point, this is a really interesting point though, because one of the things that Star Wars does show is something that we actually see in real life, and that is totalitarian regimes can be more efficient. Like, so for example, the rebels the only thing the rebels are good at is having enough heart to go up against the giant regime and work their way around and fight back in the ways they can fight back. But the rebellion, as far in the future as we've ever seen the rebellion, they have never organized. Never. Like they've never got to a place where they are. So if the rebellion was building the Death Star, it would take forever. But
I mean, look at how soft. Look at how soft the New Republic was against the First Order.
Exactly.
And I was like, yo, like, why is the rebellion still like? What is like the New Republic doesn't have their own army? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, y'all soft. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess we'll just let them build this thing that's going to kill all of us at once. Like, why are the rebels mustering up forces to fight? I could see if they were like, hey, we're the New Republic, and since we're new, we don't really have all the troops yet. Hey, Leia, could you help us out? You don't have anything. Like, you just said, what you just thought, like you were just going to diplomacy your way out of the First Order?
Yeah. Not to mention, you have the whole might of the Empire. I mean, yeah, sure, they blew up some factories. They blew, but you're going to tell me that every single TIE fighter, why would you not get in a TIE fighter? Like, hey, that whole squadron of TIE fighters, they're ours now. No, they're still using X-Wings.
At least from the books, we know, because I couldn't get through Aftermath. I'm sorry, the audiobook was boring to me. I couldn't get through. But I would have loved to see a faction of people saying, whoa, First Order. First thing, you got to get past us. We're the Empire.
Yeah.
You ain't nobody. I would have loved to see that kind of like, maybe like the old guard, like, hey. I don't know who you think you are.
Yeah.
But we're the Empire and we're not dead. And then I would have loved to see that play back and forth. But even without that, the New Republic, they just soft, man. They didn't have a slingshot.
No, not at all. Not at all. So there are like, let's just take China, for example, right? In real life. China will build a city in a year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll just, and the reason why is because China can basically say, the budget goes there. We're building a city. We don't even care if there's demand for the city there. Like we want a city there. Boom, do it. So in that way, like that basically is what can build the Death Star. So I don't know how long it took to build. If you know how long it took to build the Death Star, I'm sure it's cataloged somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure
Leave
it's
us a comment
somewhere.
and let us know.
Because somebody was talking about somebody was actually talking about like hyperloops and high-speed rails here in America and why they'll never get done. And basically the bottom line is greed. And also because somebody was saying, well, in China this and China that, and France this and France that, and they were like, well, France has this, and then China even more so. Apparently, at least at the time that they were building it, the word is, the way they report it is that China doesn't really have real estate rights like that. So they don't have to work, like you don't have to worry about like, oh, what's the rules in California and what's the rules in Washington. It's like, no, we're the Chinese government, we're building the rail, that's it. Like there's no questions. Get out of our way.
Exactly.
Well, I have a house there, so I own this land. No, you don't.
Right, exactly.
You get to borrow this land as long as we say so.
Exactly. So in that way, I think that's how the empire does work. But here, let's go to this. Let's go to this question. What do you think works so far in this show? Maybe that hasn't worked in a show like Kenobi or in a show like Boba Fett. What works here and what maybe doesn't work in Andor that we've not talked about yet?
I think what works in Andor is, one, the acting is awesome. The direction is awesome. From the shots that they choose, the way it's lit, which is kind of like an extension from Rogue One, the shots that they use, the actors, they all seem like they bought in on this. There isn't a particular actor that I feel that's kind of like, just mailing it in.
Right.
And that's what pulls me in. I need to be sucked into it. And the only way I'm sucked into it is by basically, hey, these actors, they believe what they're doing. They believe they're the people they are. And then the mood is also very like, who can you trust? And I like that mood, at least right now in this. I love that. And then even him giving not Clem. Clem is the fake name that he gave Andor. The other guy gave him the blue Kyber. So even like that small things like that, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Even he's desperate, even though he's talking about all this money, even he's kind of desperate for this. Like he needs this win because who knows what he's going through that we'll probably reveal later. But I think those are the things that works. What doesn't work for me mostly is I don't really care about the flashbacks. I know we're kind of looking for the sister, but I don't care about his sister. I know I'm supposed to.
I
don't care.